Right. Today, we are going to be focusing on flags. But the way that we're going to be focusing on flags is a bit different from the way that we've done it before. I know I've taught you about flags before, but today we want to add a little salt to it so that when you trade using those flags, your trading becomes meaningful. Right. So today is actually the first day I'm going to get deeper in the insights of where you put your stop losses, where you put your take profits, and how to properly execute your trades using a flag. And we're going to put the Fibonacci on it, as well as incorporate it with gaps and order blocks. Right. As we all know, a flag is a trend continuation pattern. Right. A flag is a trend continuation pattern, meaning that if we are in an uptrend, we expect to see a flag within the trend, right? Not at the beginning or not as the reversal of that trend, but within the middle of a trend. So, as we all know, we have what we call an impulse and a correction, an impulse and a correction. Rather, some say an impulse and consolidation, an impulse and consolidation. Right. So we have two types of flags. We have what we call a bullish flag, right? A bullish flag. I mistyped there, I'm sorry about that. And then we have what you call a bearish flag, right? Bullish meaning we are buying, and bearish meaning that we are selling. So we'll start with the example of a bullish flag, right? A bullish flag is a flag that continues an uptrend. And as it continues an uptrend, it looks like this, right? We have our high, our low, and we have that flag, and then we have our low, and then it continues by going up. Now, what you can see is when we mark our structure, we have a high and we have a low, and that flag is the factor as to why we've broken this high over here, and then we continue with our trend. Now, this is where most people get it wrong. So let me go to the example of a bearish flag first, and then we see where most people get it wrong, right? So when we are having a bearish flag, we expect to have a low, and then we expect to let our flag play, and then we sell, right? Now, from my own understanding, based on the previous videos that we've done, we are all able to know that a flag, when it plays out, I introduced you to the 50 EMA rule, which I understand some of us know. And I'll take it on this video on YouTube if you missed out that session on the 50 EMA, right, and the flag. So where most people get it wrong is they see that there is a flag, but they want to continue with it. And then instead of knowing that this flag, since it's looking up, it's supposed to sell, most people, they buy it. Just as much as if we are in an uptrend, some people, they sell a flag just because it's looking down, whereby it's the opposite. When a flag is buying, it faces downwards. When a flag is selling, it faces upwards. Right. So this is where it gets interesting now. These are some of the parts that I've never spoke about, and I'll include them just now. So say we've gotten to see that we have a high, a low, and then a high, and then a flag, right? Remember, this flag exists within, right? Now, what most people fail to account is we have what we call premium and discount levels, which I've introduced you to, right? And us having premium and discount levels, we know that we don't buy in the premium if we're in an uptrend. And at this point, what we know is our flag is facing downwards, meaning that this flag is supposed to buy, right? So we don't buy that flag in the premium levels, right? And which one is the premium that we're talking about? This is our premium. And which one is our discount? This is our discount, right? This is our discount, right? Now, let's put the flag aside and let's look at what exists in the discount level that we are interested in, that maybe our flag can push into for it to react. Remember, we have what we call order blocks, right? Forgive me, guys. These terms, you keep on hearing them over and over again because these are what really make what we are learning, right? And then let's say this is our OP, which I'm gonna type here, our order block, right? Sorry, let me use this text too. So let's say this one is our order block, right? Our order block, right? And we also have what we call gapes, right? Let's say we have a gap that exists here, right? And I'm gonna label that gap. So let's say maybe this is our gap. And then we also have factors like our demand zones, right? So I just put everything here so that I explain in a way that maybe some of us could understand. So the first things first, now, as soon as I discover that I have a flag, I'm not going to buy it in the premium level. Rather, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to myself, I will buy it from the discount. But what is it that is in the discount that I want in order for my flag to play out? Guys, remember, you cannot trade with all of these factors that I've put here, which is the gap, the order block, and the demand zone, right? I've just put these elements here so that we know that they exist in these areas, right? So if I'm using an order block entry, the first thing now that I would want to do is I would want to introduce my fib, right? So let's say, okay, I'll come and rename this. Let's say this was our other OB here, right? This was an OB, and this was another OB again here as well. And let's say this OB was somewhere, sorry, let's say this OB here, it was somewhere there. Let me do this. Let's say this OB here was somewhere here, and let me move this area. And this OB was somewhere here. Let me move this area, right? What I would basically do is I'll introduce a fib. Remember, we're trading a flag, but this is not just about trading a flag. This is now about incorporating it and putting more factors that we can say at the end of the day, we have a perfect entry, right? So what I would rather do is, since I'm in an uptrend, I would just take my fib and place it on the previous high, on the newly made high, and the low, which is our valid low and our valid high, as you can see. Remember, when I've taught you about the fib, any order block that exists above the 0.618% if we are buying, it's not valid. So automatically we delete it. And we said any order block that exists below the 0.618% if we are buying is of interest. Now, based from the lesson that I've taught you, what we would want to see our gap doing, our flag doing at this point in time is to either come into that order block, react on it, fail to break it, and then push up. Today, I want to be talking about the 50 EMA. Right. So this would be my expectation. But if not, then since now we know that we have two OBs, what I would expect is if it fails here and then it comes and breaks through and goes down, I would expect it to act on my second order block, fail to break it, and then go up. Many of us have been misled into saying when we see a flag, it must hit 1, 2, 3 times and then it means it's not going. No, it doesn't work like that. Yes, we have what you call indicators in Forex. We have what you call lines, but price does not react to a line in the way that we can say or we can justify that our trade played out because of a simple line. Price reacts to candles. Price reacts to human behavior. As a trader, you should be able to map out, or you should be able to know that from this high, I'm expecting my price to go to this order block. And then from this order block, that's the order block that's supposed to move my flag. And from that, it should break that high. When it gets there, it should give me a change of character, break of structure, then push down a bit and then go up. A trader knows why price is coming from, where it's coming from, how it's going to react at certain points, and why it's going where it's going. Right. So I gave you the first example of how we can utilize a flag using our OBs. So now let's go on to gaps. Right. So when we look at gaps, what they generally tell us is they're telling us that if they were in a buy or if they were in a bullish market, they're telling us that we've more buyers than sellers. Or if it was in a bearish market with more sellers than buyers, as long as it's going in that direction, right? So let's say now we've seen that we have a flag and we've seen that we have a gap. Now, this is one of my most powerful setups that I use, especially when I'm trading spikes. And I think most of us, especially my students, they've actually managed to see that I trade using my gaps. But now the way that we are going to be using gaps here is a bit different from what we know. And because when we're trading gaps and a flag, we require you to refine them so as to get a perfect entry. Right. So let me divert you a bit. The reason why we refine my entries, the reason why we refine entries is, let's say we are viewing this box, or we are viewing, let's say this is a gap. Let's say we are seeing this gap from an H4 perspective and we mark it. What you are going to see is we are going to enter here. Or since we all know how to enter gaps based from our previous sessions, we say that the way that we enter a gap is we let price come and then tap in the 50% and then we buy. So let's say this was our H4 gap. Obviously, the normal would be to say when we cover 50% or when we feel 50%, we buy. But what you see is if you don't refine, your entry is going to be up there. But if you refine, your entry is going to be down somewhere here. So refinement, it actually helps you into taking more of like sniper entries. Let me go on the actual chart and let me show you about what I'm talking about. Hopefully, we'll find a flag and we'll give that as an example. So let me try to find a flag and then I'll show you what I mean. All right, we have a flag that we have over here, and this is a sell flag, right? Let me mark it. Let me mark it for you here, right? So this is our sell flag, right? And that being our sell flag here, so sorry, I picked the wrong two. And that being our sell flag, what we can actually see is we have a high here and we have a low here, right? So our flag is now facing upwards. So first rule, what do we do when we see a flag? We mark our premium and our discount. What we are not willing to do is we don't want to sell our flag in our discount. Since this is a sell flag, we don't sell the flag in a discount level. Rather, we sell it from our premium level. So I'll just type P here. Sorry, I'll just name it P here, and I'll name it discount here. I was hoping to do an example whereby I use a gap, but well, we'll do that, don't worry. It's just that I've found this flag that I want us to focus on. So now that we've seen that we have that flag, we are not going to buy it, right? We are going to wait for it to sell. Why? Because a flag that sells faces upwards, and that's it. So let me zoom on it like this. Now, what you're going to see is where that flag came, right? It should have sold here as soon as it got in the premium level. It should have sold here or here or soon after covering this gap. But what did it choose to do? What it chose to do was it chose to come and react on this order block over here, right? Now, remember what I'm always teaching you. An order block that breaks structure is powerful and tends to be respected very much with price. And this is exactly what our flag did. Came, wicked in that order block area, and then it fell. Right. But then at the same time, let's zoom in a bit. Maybe we can see something interesting that's worth talking about, because I'm expecting to show you the system of refinement as well, right? So what you see is if we get in that flag, we are now in M5. But being in M5, what do you see? You see that we have a gap here. I think we can all see this gap in M1, M5. Let me zoom in on it. You see that we have a gap here. I think we can all see the gap. Right. And one of the ways that I would prefer to trade in this area is if you look in our M5, when price gave us this high, it gave us a perfect evening star pattern which closed below our box, right? I think this is the previous lesson that we did with beginners, and we want to do it as advanced traders. If you scroll through the videos, you see it. At the same time, we see that we have healthy price flow here, but then all of a sudden we come up with a gap. Now, this gap is part of an order block that we see in M15. So the only reason why I would choose to work precisely with my M5 is because we have healthy price action and then suddenly we have a gap. And this gap is showing as an order block in M15. But this whole topic or this whole issue is not about order blocks and gaps. It's about the flag, about where to precisely sell when you see your flag pattern, where to precisely buy when you see your flag pattern, which is what you see happening just now over here. So When you see a flag, the first thing you should do is not to say, I've seen a flag, I'm going to sell it. Look, are you at your discount level? Are you at your premium level? Are you buying or are you selling? Remember, if you are buying, you buy from the discount going up. If you're selling, you sell from the premium going down. So let's go on and let's find another flag we can give an example on. Let me go back to M15. I don't like using very, very small time frames, especially when I'm teaching. Right. So we have something here that I want to talk about. I'll do questions later on, guys. For now, let's just do the lesson. So there's something in particular that I want to talk about, especially when you're looking at price. We can only rule out a flag. I think we can see where the market is right now. This is our V51S. And what you see is, this is a flag, right? That you see over here. This is a flag, right? That you see over here, right? So many people now might get confused. Is this a sell flag? Is this a buy flag? What's happening? Because if I come and I do this, right? And I do this, let me mark it like this, right? What you're basically going to have is a potential flag formation here. So most people now, they tend to be confused as to say, ha, am I going to be selling or am I going to be buying at the end of the day? Your market structure is what's very important. And at the same time, the time frames that you work with, they shouldn't like affect your whole mentality into saying this is a flag. I expect or I prefer seeing my flag like this. Right, very clear like this. I don't expect Corona Radai in a way that I know that price is squashed and I can't really tell if my flag is in a buy direction or is in a sell direction. But then as you follow through, or even as you go through my lessons that come better before, for the past videos that you've done, if you get to a point whereby you are confused to say, is this a flag or not? What you basically do is just map out your market structure. This is my low, this is my high, this is my low, this is my high, this is my low, right? So here is where everything now starts messing up with your mind. Was this low broken or not? So basically we just come here and do this, right? And what you can basically see is price just came and wigged on that point. My low was not fully broken. Price even attempted to come and then break that area. My low was not fully broken as well. So what you see is you see something that looks like a flag here, but then your price, you start thinking, oh, my flag is looking up, let me sell. But then at the same time, you see that your price will come and continue with the buy trend since you are in an overall buy trend. So when you're looking at flags, don't look them at an angle that confuses you as a trader. Let it show clear and you execute from there, right? So let's look at another flag that's clear and let's look at the reason why it played out. In Inangu, personally, I don't like working with charts that have previous data. I usually like working with what's actually happening right there and there. That's my type of trading. So I would be more appreciative if after this example, we try to look for any pair that is a current flag that's playing out, and I would be happy to give you an entry as well, right? So we have a sell flag over here that is facing upwards. And as it is facing upwards, what do? First things first, we mark our, what do? We mark our discount and premium. So let me just look clearly. Yes, I actually went a bit above on that one. Okay, this is our, here it is. This is our premium and our discount. And what do you see? Price never sold from our discount. What it did rather was it came, wigged in our premium, and then it sold. And instead of you taking my early entries, let's say it's this area, right? What you do is wait for price to get in the premium level and then you sell it. At least now you know, even if it drags you a bit within that premium level, there's somewhere within that range that you can actually afford to hold your trade, right? I hope we are understanding. If there's anyone now with a question, you can ask, because we've got 5 minutes remaining. Okay, Samuel Ryan, I've asked you to unmute. You can ask.
I wanted to ask, could you maybe, I heard you saying you trade spikes, and I've noticed that you do. Could we get like an example of like a flag and how to enter on like the change of character and break of structures confuse me when I'm trying to catch spikes.
Can you choose any pair EMA spikes of your choice so that I can look at it?
Probably boom 1000 or boom 300, either one.
All right. So let me look at Boom 1000. Right. So this is our Boom 1000, right? And we don't want to look at ticks. Let's look at spikes. And let me show you what I mean. It's been pretty much in a very strong downtrend. I hope some of us
Yes.
have profited from it. Okay, I'll take this example in particular. Like I said, I hate using price yakambit kakudara because I like something that's more of current, like actually happening. But well, currently on Boom 1000 we don't have that. But what I can just map out right now and show you is we had a low here, we had a high, we had a low, we had a high, we had a low, we had a high. So having those lows and highs, let's mark this flag and let's map it out. Oh, that's where time is. Let me try to be a bit fast. So this was our flag here, right? For Boom 1000. This was our whole flag for our Boom 1000. And what we see is if we come and we mark our high and our low, we are not willing to buy our Boom from the premium. Rather, we want to buy it from the discount, which is where price came. Right. So why didn't my flag just come and buy from this area and then go? Why did it choose to come here? Well, the answer is very simple. We have an order block, I think, that we can all witness and see. And we have a gap at the same time. So this was our OB, right? And this is our gap, which we can all see here, which eventually was filled. So I'll take this part of the gap, which eventually was filled on our Boom 1000. Now, remember, when it reacts in our order block, we are expecting price to come up, fail to break the low, like I said, and then continue, which is what it did. If you remember, this is what I said when we just starting doing the session. This is how we expect our price to react when we have reacted using our flag, and then it goes up. So if now we want to be very straight to the dot and observant about those small details, what we would see is we can go to our M15, which is where I just went. So let's go back to that price point. If we go back to our M15, now what you would see is, as much as our flag was giving us its own what we call this, its own market structure, it came here, gave us a change of character just here, break of structure, then reaction to the order block again, and then it went up. I don't know if I've answered your question along the way.
Yeah, yes, you did. I wanted to ask you, the first time when it filled the fair value gap, it created a change of character and the break of structure, but then it reversed. If I have an order block below my fair value gap, does that mean I have to wait for price to maybe try and reach my order block first before executing?
Right. What's important is the break of structure. When it reacted on your FVG, did it give you your break of structure or just a change of character? From what I see, it just gave us a change of character. But then when it came back again, it came back, reacted on our OB, gave us a full break of structure, and then it went up.
Okay.
All right. So our session has got like seconds remaining. So what we'll do is I'll post this